All right, guys, we are going to be reacting to farming in Russia versus the West. I think this is from the Canadian guy that just moved. He moved to Russia. Let's see what's going on.
Well, guess where I woke up this morning? I'm not in a hotel, not in my Moscow apartment. Let me show you. I'm on a farm, deep in rural Russia.
That's such a North American house.
I spent the night here at Aaron and Anisa's, a Canadian family of 10 who moved to Russia just over a year ago and quickly became local celebrities.
Aaron и Аниса Фейнстра сегодня в нашей студии.
But now that the media attention has faded a bit, what's life really like for them? Did the dream of homesteading in Russia actually work out? In this video, we're not diving into why they moved. If you're curious about that, check out my previous episode, which is already nearing 900,000 views. Today, we're getting practical. We'll break down what it takes to build a house and a working farm in Russia, the costs, the challenges, the red tape, and the business strategy behind it all. And if you're watching this from the US, Canada, or Europe and wondering how this compares to doing the same thing back home, we'll be looking at that too. So stick around and watch till the end. All right, quick pause, an important note. Just like my last channel with over 330,000 subscribers, this one could also disappear at any time. And if you want to keep following my work, make sure you're connected with me on X, Rumble, Telegram, and other social media platforms.
I hope that's not the case.
Pause this video for just a second and check the links in the description. Pick one and hit follow so you won't lose touch if YouTube takes down my account again. All right, now let's get back to the video.
Wow.
So guys, when I first met you a year ago, you had just landed in Russia.
Are officially on Russian soil for the first time, family field trip. Everybody excited?
And basically you were living out of your suitcases. No permanent house yet. And now fast forward to today, you've built basically a whole life from scratch. You got a house, a piece of land, garden, a working farm, a tractor. So looking back at this homesteading journey, was it everything you imagined it would be? Or were there any hidden pitfalls, challenges you didn't see coming?
Oh, lots.
I don't think we really thought it through very well. No, I think with the language was the biggest challenge.
That's a big challenge for sure.
A huge challenge we never really thought of.
Yeah, well, even little things like finding supplies, things that you just would think would be ordinary in every country that you'd never dreamed of having to search for. Now you have to search for, right? Or different ways of doing things. People just build differently here or whatever it might be. Yeah, there's always challenges, but nothing major that we couldn't overcome. Doors, windows, we don't have windows like this. I'd never seen something like that before.
That's more like European or German, right?
Kind of neat.
Window.
But I've never seen that before. I don't think I've ever seen a window in Canada that opens to the inside. Ours would open to the outside. You'd have a crank here and it would open to the outside. Or we have sliding windows up and down, side to side. If this was a flower pot and you have it in the windowsill, you have to move it first. So that's something new for us now because we always swing them out, right? So that's something different. Doors as well, we like a glass door and you cannot find an ordinary glass door. So this is what they call a patio door. It works.
It works.
And the other thing that's different, again, it's a minor thing, but is this threshold. We wouldn't have that. We would have just a minor little thing. So this is all different things you would have never thought of moving to another country.
Well, say someone's watching this from a North American thinking of doing what you did. What's the minimum budget they should realistically have to start a small
100,000
off-grid farm here in Russia?
To do what we did, it's going to take more money, of course. But if somebody just wants to have a little homestead, a couple chickens and a garden kind of thing, then they could easily buy a place in a village, right? And I think 50,000 US would be enough. And then, especially if they have a job when they get here and they're working, right? You were thinking more, right?
I think 150.
150.
Yeah, I think you would need a little bit more for sure.
If you're just coming to sustain yourself, then a dacha with a potato garden in the back would probably be enough. Like what a lot of people in the West, they have this homesteading dream. I think it can easily be accomplished in a village.
What was the most expensive part of building a house in Russia?
I would say the electrical cost us a good chunk of money, mainly because we paid someone else to do it all for us. And I think we also went overkill on a lot of the products just because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, if I balance it off to other stuff, everything has its cost factor. But for the electrical is a small part of the job. So proportionally, I would say it costs us the most.
Apart from a house, well, let's talk about like other specifics like farm animals, construction materials, machinery. How does that compare to what you'd find in Canada, price-wise and quality-wise?
Quality here I find is really good on lumber. I'm a lumber guy, I like building with wood. I was actually shocked to find out that we're paying more for lumber here in Russia than I would be currently today in Canada.
That is so funny. No way. I would think like because Russia has so much lumber. That's interesting.
Really? A 2x4 as an example. What would that be in
centimeters?
Yeah.
Like 45 by 90, I guess.
Yeah.
We would be paying $10 for. And if I convert it from rubles into dollars, it would be $15 here. Those are Canadian dollars again. So I was actually surprised to find that out. But like a sheet of drywall is only about $7, $8 here, and I would pay $40 for it in Canada. Concrete is $100 a meter less here than it is in Canada. They build everything out of concrete here.
We can't afford concrete in Canada.
Yeah, concrete is very, very expensive.
That's a luxury in Canada.
Even your electricity poles are made out of concrete.
Yeah, and very surprised how the wife is very well versed in the topic. That's very important.
Concrete fence posts are out of concrete. I mean, you build the entire house out of concrete. Your ceilings are concrete. I'm surprised you don't have concrete shingles.
Yeah. I was gonna. It's only a few places like Florida, Puerto Rico, probably New Mexico, probably some places in Louisiana that even Texas, Georgia maybe, where you're pushing it, where some of the houses are just built in cement in the United States, right? Outside of that, everything is just built with lumber.
Why do you pick this exact tractor? Why not the other one?
Well, we looked at a bunch of different ones. Price point is what it comes down to. Is it the best tractor on the market? No. But
it does the job.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Case International tractors. It's also red. But the parts with the sanctions and everything going on, I figured it would be easier to get parts and service for tractors that are built locally. And granted, they're not built in Russia, but built in Belarus. So, I mean, it's not that far away. There's tons and tons and tons of these tractors around. So if I ever have a breakdown, there's lots of parts and lots of people know how to fix them. Yeah, I've never seen any other tractor in the world like this. This steering wheel is offset. Center of the tractor is about here. So the steering wheel is actually offset by about 6 inches, and so is the seat. You're much farther this way, but that actually allows me more room where you're sitting. For children, and I enjoy driving a tractor and taking my kids with me everywhere.
The kids can be with you, man. He's such a good father, man.
Go and also in the tractor, so I can easily fit a few kids here. There's a bench like where you're sitting right now, and it's perfect. So that's what I keep arguing. Yeah, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. I mean, I would prefer a Case, 100%, and it's a stronger, better built tractor. But for the same price, I can buy 4 of these Belaruses.
There we go. That's what it is. You can buy 3 to 4 Belarusian tractors. And then if one of them just breaks, you can use this one while you repair the other one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be practical.
I can leave 3 or 4 of them sitting on the edge of the farm, not used, and just use one.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about that, then it's a no-brainer. Overall, labor is way cheaper. So anything that uses a lot of labor is cheaper here.
What's the going rate for part-time or seasonal help in Russia?
I have a friend that told me his guys, I think, are 400 rubles an hour, which is
like $35 US dollars.
Yeah, so like 6 Canadian or something, which is pretty cheap. I had another guy tell me they were running a pig operation. The lowest wage there is 200 rubles an hour. We tend to pay on the high end of that. We have an employee that makes more than that, or 2 employees, I guess, but they make more than that. But we feel it's kind of our responsibility to pay adequate amount of money, I guess. Keeps the economy locally going as well.
Oh, and by the way, this is the village, right? And you are on the edge of the village.
We're right on the edge of the village, on all 3 sides, I guess, but On this side, we live on the edge of the village.
It's also interesting that those people living in the village, they have way smaller plots. So they're not like big commercial farmers. They're more basically have a summer house or maybe a village house with a little garden.
Yep.
But you
the vast majority of these, I would call them cottages. They come out for the weekend type thing, right? So, and some of them stay for the summer. But this last winter, there was only, I think, 3 dashes with somebody living in it in the winter.
Ah.
Yeah. The rest of them all went back to the city, which is such a shame because it was a really nice winter out here. It's nice living.
What can you tell about the work ethics with the guys in the local community?
We actually only have 2 ladies working for us. Work ethic seems to be good on them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We haven't hired any guys yet. Well, this lady helps us in the gardens now. And originally we contacted her actually to help with teaching the children Russian. So she doesn't speak any English, which is perfect because the kids can't cheat that way or nothing. She comes over, she only speaks Russian. And that really helped, just conversational.
If you were to compare Russia with Canada or the US when it comes to starting a homestead, what are the main differences? What would you say are the advantages of doing it in Russia, and what are the advantages of doing this in the West?
The main advantage here, I would say, is land price. Land price here is phenomenally low compared to Canada, USA. But you can buy land from anywhere from, I'd say, 600 to 1,000 US a hectare here. Now, in Canada, again, that varies. You're looking at a little over $10,000 per hectare.
Man, they're ripping you off, man. And you know what's the crazy thing is? It's not like Canada. It's not like Canada has no land. Canada has so much land. So much land that they need to work on that land. Like these prices don't even make sense.
The cheapest land.
Wow.
Stuff that I could never afford. There's some fruit belts in British Columbia where they grow like peaches and stuff. That is like prime land. It's like, well, off the top of my head, I want to say 50,000 an acre. In Southern Ontario, though, I know there's some prime land. Again, not in my price league, but it's about 40,000 an acre. So if you take that 40,000 times that by 2.4, you're looking at 70,000 US dollars a hectare. And here in Russia, you can find land for 600 to 1,000 US dollars a hectare.
Wow.
I mean, it's astronomical difference, not even comparable. This particular soil, I mean, it looks good to me. Again, I'm not an expert, but it grows good. Everything seems to come out nice. It's not super hard. It's got some clay and some sand mixed in there.
Yep.
The main thing I like to see is a lot of this organic matter in it. And so that's what we're doing with the straw here as well. Laying it down, we'll be tilling that all in to get more and more stuff in.
If we compare apples to apples to like our farm where we were in Canada to here, I would say the soil is so much better here. We barely had any topsoil at our last place. And
the island we lived on, it's known for that. It's like rock with a little bit of topsoil on it. You drop your plow in, you hit the bedrock, and you go like this.
Yeah, so like the dirt here is so much nicer and healthier. And
better soil, much better price.
How hard was it to buy a piece of land in Russia? What kind of red tape did you have to deal with, if any?
A foreigner cannot buy agricultural land here. What we did is open an LLC. It's the only way to do it. We opened up an LLC with a Russian partner that we trust, and he has majority share of the company. So we are a minority shareholder in our own company. Now, it can still be set up in such a way that it's totally safe for the foreigner to do so, but obviously you need to find a partner you trust first. I actually appreciate the fact that here a foreigner can't, because we have a lot of foreigners buying land in Canada. Chinese have bought up businesses and farmland. It drives up the price for the locals.
But once you are citizens,
then we can do away with the LLC, and then we'll take it over ourselves. Yep.
Is this the plan?
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting citizenship one day, but it's going to be like 6 years or something. It's a long journey. Seven, 8 years.
If not more, yeah.
Yeah, unless something miraculous happens, but yeah.
Nah, I have to wait.
So how much does a little pig cost in Russia?
Oh, what did I pay for these guys again? I think they were 3,000 or 4,000 rubles a piece, off the top of my head.
Is it cheaper or more expensive than in Canada?
Pig price, I think I told you yesterday too, beef and pig are both very volatile, so they go up and down a lot. Typical price used to be $50 in Canada, so 5,000 rubles is about $75. So it would be very similar, I think. Yeah. Look forward to having these in the freezer. It'll be good. Sausages and bacon, ham.
Yeah.
You've been exploring Russian agricultural, scene since day one, and I remember we visited this big chicken farm last time I was in Nizhny Novgorod, and you also toured one of the Miratorg facilities, which is Russia's major, biggest meat producer. So, what's your overall impression so far of how the agribusiness works here?
What we have more of in the West is smaller farmers. I would say there's a lot of farms here that are like 10,000 hectares to 15,000 hectares. That would be 300 to 400 farms in Canada. Individual farmers. And now you can see why we have so much more used farm equipment around. Because every one of those 350 farmers has his own mower, his own baler, his own manure spreader, his own whatever. But the big guys here, I mean, it's state of the art. We also visited a state of the art cow dairy farm, or multiple ones, but one in particular was built in a Canadian style. The owner actually traveled to Canada, toured a bunch of different barns, came back, said this is what we're building. This ties into what I've told you many times, the opportunities that are available, because all the equipment that gets purchased from somewhere else, all the technology that comes from somewhere else could be built here. I mean, Russians are not stupid. They're just rather buy it from somewhere else, and it could be made here. So why?
100%, it could be made in Russia. And we talk about this in multiple videos ago, where I think Russia has developed something very interesting, which is self-reliance. Self-reliance, and of course, I know Belarusian is not part of Russia, but it's almost the same, right? It's almost the same thing. The self-sustainability is very important, to the point that they don't need a lot of outside resources.
Needs to be analyzed. Why are Russian companies not building it themselves? Why would they, people rather buy it offshore?
I think I was surprised on how nice and immaculate a lot of these farms were. Like, I think they're really well kept, and really, like, that kind of surprised me, actually, because we were always told that Russia was, third world country that can't find poor. It doesn't have anything. And I was really surprised. Like the chicken farm, that was a really, really, nice barn, like really nice kept. Mirator, I find that the animals were just really nice, like really nice. I was so surprised by that.
Content and happy.
Content, happy. Like they weren't bellowing, making noises like they were hungry or
Some
any
people
of that.
might just see a cow versus cow, but we look at that and say, look, these are happy cows.
Yeah, they were really happy cows.
So you've already got some production going on here with eggs, right?
So we bought these eggs. The last batch that I bought, I thought were broilers. They're marketed as broilers, but I guess it doesn't mean the same thing in Russia. So again, it's a learning thing. These ones are actually going to be meat chickens. So they should be ready, after they hatch, they should be ready to eat in about 8-9 weeks.
Are chickens different in Russia than in Canada, or
speak the same language? Something I can understand. All the animals speak it. Yeah, unfortunately, I'll show you outside, but we were raising all our chickens out there. We lost a lot to the foxes. So now everything's being kept indoors.
They each have a hole in the side here. And he was just, when we seen him, he was just going in, out, in, out. We seen him ripping apart the birds. Well, some of them. So there's like 30 of them here, laying here just dead.
The foxes.
That's the reality of farm, right? Farming. It's just, you're gonna see a lot of these animals being victim of wild animals, so you have to protect them. You have to protect them.
Yeah, in Canada, I mean, I had my gun license, and we had rifles and stuff, so we could take care of foxes and any other predators that show up.
Well, are you planning on having a gun in Russia? Because there is a legal way for this.
Only once you're a citizen. Yeah, after citizenship, then go through the proper testing and everything else. Then you can start with a shotgun, and then after X amount of years, you can finally move up to a rifle. It's a long process.
Yeah, you can buy like a pebble gun as well, I guess, and also or probably like airsoft gun. At least you can scare the animals away.
Understandably, but
by the way, have you been able to get the sense of what the profit margins are like for farming in Russia compared to Canada? And like in your view, what's the easiest way for a small farmer to start making money here?
Well, right now there's a demand for meat. There's a demand for milk, especially.
Egg, right?
So if somebody wants to come here and start producing milk, there's
I think eggs as well, right?
Definitely demand for that, and the profits are good on milk. Vegetables is another thing that's massively needed right now, and that's again due to sanctions. A lot of the vegetables were brought in from Europe, and a lot of milk products were brought in from Europe, and that's cut off. So again, it's this huge opportunity. Russian people need to step up. Foreigners should come here and start producing. Prices speak for themselves, I guess. 104 rubles, 95 rubles. This is one that we buy. We normally buy it's 3.5% to 6%, so it's closer to whole milk.
Yep.
I believe this is a liter, yeah, just shy of a liter of milk, and 95 rubles.
Look at the fans.
95 rubles, that's $1.66, right? Farm milk, I'm told, sells for 80 rubles a liter. So this one here is actually on sale right now. It's normally 102, but 80 rubles, it's just like $1.40 Canadian. And Canadian dairy farmers get about it, obviously depends on your butter, fat, and protein, but about $1 a liter. But in Canada, you have high land prices, and here you don't. Huge difference. And in Canada, you have to pay what's called milk quota. Not anybody can just milk cows. You have to buy the quota in order to produce milk. And it's not exactly, but roughly a kilo of quota, be enough to milk one cow, let's say, is about $25,000. So if you want to milk 100 cows, that's $2.5 million for a piece of paper that allows you to milk. So you're getting the same milk price as you would in Canada, but you have a teeny fraction of the amount of costs. You know, even building your barns is going to be less, your land price is less. I think it's a win-win, absolutely. How long will that last? I don't know. But right now, there's definitely a shortage of milk, and there's opportunities. You can sign contracts for shipping milk.
As a small farmer and homesteader, how are you planning to sell what you grow or produce? I mean, here in Russia, and you know how hard it is to find customers here.
A lot of people prefer to buy something that's locally raised. They prefer to know the guy that raised the food or the farm that raised the food. And we have that added opportunity with our channel, Telegram and YouTube, to show people where the food comes from, so they can connect with it.
That's very nice.
Все, спасибо.
За сколько канадцы продают яйца?
130 рублей.
130 рублей? Как в магазине?
Ну, они деревенские зато.
On top of that, of course, there's markets, farmers market. We discussed that a little bit. The girls were at one for the first time last weekend, and they're hoping to do that now throughout the summer.
That's good. And that's how you get involved in the community. Man, I'm loving this video.
Нет, вот такой дайте, такой, да.
Яблочная.
Это яблочная.
Ага.
А это что?
Овсяная.
Овсяная, дайте одну тогда.
Одна?
Вот такую. А это что?
Шоколадная брауни.
We're set up here with a booth. The girls wanted to start selling stuff. Long term, we're hoping to sell our farm products here, vegetables, eggs, meat, bread, whatever it might be. And right now, they're just started with selling cookies and donuts, things like that. So.
А что самое вкусное? Вот ты бы что бы сказал, на твой вот вкус.
Ну, можно овсяную.
Овсяный, я люблю. Ну, давайте мне вот эту.
Ага.
И с шоколадной крошкой давайте тогда уже.
Ага.
Давайте. Давайте. Все достаточно.
How do people react when they see your stand?
From what I understand from them, people were very curious as to what Canadians were doing at the Russian market, I guess, and creates conversation.
А вы вообще кто, канадцы?
Да, канадцы.
Ага. Мы вас видели по телевизору.
Да?
Вы у Малахова, у Андрея были? Или это не ваша семья? У Андрея Малахова были на передаче?
Да, было, да.
Были, по-моему. Да, да. Одна вы разговариваете?
Она тоже.
Тоже разговаривает, да?
Да.
Ага, ага. Хотя бы на канадцев посмотреть.
But it was never any prejudice. It was just
No,
more
it
like,
was just like they were
Yeah,
curious,
what are you doing here?
wondering, why are you here? And like when we would tell them that we're living here and we're farmers, they'd be like, oh, why? Like, why wouldn't you want to be in Canada?
Каролина, расскажи, а почему решили из Канады приехать в Россию?
Ну, я не знаю, как по-русски вот скажут. Но мы приехали здесь, потому что мы подумали, что Россия будет, ну, хорошая. Там в Канаде
Very lovely, very well-behaved kids, man.
было хорошее тоже, но здесь, я думаю, будет лучше.
Ну, уже говорит прям целыми фразами, да?
Ну, конечно, целыми предложениями. С Каролиной приятно пообщаться уже. Будем надеяться, что все остальные тоже скоро научатся.
people still ask that a lot because they think that Canada is so much better than Russia, right? So they don't understand why you're here.
It's very hard to explain, man. It's very hard to explain. And the reason it's very hard to explain is because what is going on in Canada, specifically Canada, if they don't change the politics over there, Canada is gonna the demographic of Canada is gonna be something else. Canada is becoming less of a Christian nation, and it's gonna be a huge problem because wokeness is just taking over. Yeah, it's taking over, and a lot of very bad ideologies are taking over. So that's the summary of what is going on there. A lot of stupid, very, very dumb politicians, man. They're just catering to elitists. A lot of these old boomers, right? It's bad.
What do you tell them?
That it's not. I mean, it used to be, maybe. I don't know. I can't speak for Russia per se, but Canada's not the way it was 30 years ago. And from everything I gather, neither is Russia. But from an economic standpoint, if you look at the numbers, I mean, jobless rates are really, really high. Unemployment among youth, I think, is sitting at 20% or something. When I was a kid, I knew that if I worked hard enough and I saved up some money, I could get a down payment on a house. And, you know, sure, you'd have to work hard, but you could do it. How do you save for a down payment on a $400,000 or $500,000 house?
That's hard, man.
And you could say, well, move to a cheaper area. Yes, but then the jobs aren't as good. Now you have people that living in their parents' basement. To me, that's not normal. I mean, I'm okay with helping my kids out, but the normal thing for a kid to do is to grow up, get a job, move out, get a house.
At least.
But that's no longer possible.
And that's how Americans think. Like, that's the way of Americans. Like, we think like this. That by 18, it used to be like, you need to work your ass off and just get a house and just put a down payment.
Yeah, but you know, Russia is not immune to those things as well. But at the same time, if you drive through Canadian countryside, you would, you know, see beautiful houses, manicured grass, well-kept farms, good roads and stuff like this.
Everything,
and then you're telling me about the grim economic outlook.
I mean, looks can be deceiving as well. I know
people,
one family.
They own the house, but they don't own it because you have to. The bank still owns it because you have to pay that mortgage. What happens if you don't pay that mortgage? Well, let's say in 15 years, you already pay like 2.5 times that house already. Let's just say that. You already paid 2.5 times that house. And you start paying in a 30-year mortgage, the bank can not only make money from you, they can take the house that you already paid 2.5 times. Like, it's very
good
bad.
People, great people. They started with very little. They built a wonderful farming empire. They're carrying like $15 million in debt. That would do on your loan, it would be a lot. The farm on the outside, if you don't know that, I'm like, wow, these guys are doing great. Look at all the nice tractors and stuff. A lot of it's on credit. A lot of farmers now lease their equipment because they can't afford to buy the equipment. And once you get into the lease trap, you're stuck into that trap because then you get rid of this piece of equipment, you roll it over to a new lease for a new piece of equipment. And it looks good when you're driving down the countryside, sure. They got a zero-turn mower, they get their lawn all nice, get nice and landscape, but it all comes at a price. A lot of it can look good on the outside, but isn't necessarily. Here, I still see it's different. Looks at the people, you got one job, you guys are on holidays all the time. You have tons of time to walk in the park and stroll. You're happy. You look stress-free. I see more BMWs and Audis and stuff driving around here than we do back home.
You've also said that Russia might start developing quickly in the next 5 to 10 years and could become a place full of economic opportunities. You know, what makes you believe that, and why this time frame? Why not now? Why 5 to 10 years?
Because
if you think where this country was.
Yeah, because of the war. But then you have to put into consideration how the country's moving. It needs to just go through a lot of different obstacles, meaning sanctions, big one. Right, the sanctions, big one, and see how they can just look for opportunities. So it's going to take some time.
In the 90s, economically, and where it is today, I think you could say it's a huge difference. And we have the same opposite difference where we're from. So I only see that getting better. With the sanctions in place, the West has basically cut themselves out of the market. It hasn't, in my opinion, hurt Russia any, not visibly. Now, maybe you could say people are hiding that really well here. Maybe. But I think it's created a lot of opportunities and created a lot of entrepreneurial initiative in this country, and that's going to continue to skyrocket. The West is imploding. It's an economy based on debt. You look at, what do they, 36 trillion in the hole now in the United States? They can't keep printing money. The more they do, this is how they get out of their economic problems, is they print more money to stimulate economy. But the more money that they print, the less value the money that's
crazy. Look at 0.35 trillion. Wow. That's crazy.
There has. again, I don't know everything, but from what I've seen, Russia doesn't have a lot of debt. It spent a lot of time stacking up reserves, working on its gold supply. The West is doing the exact opposite.
Yep.
Right? They're getting more debt and less gold supply.
Does the war in Ukraine weigh on you more now than it did when you first moved here? Because I know there were a few instances when Ukrainian drones reached the Nizhny Novgorod area here. So, did that change how you feel emotionally or mentally, about being here?
Not much. I don't really think of it that much.
It is what it is. We're pretty far from it here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I would like it to be over. I feel bad for all those that are involved in it. Innocent people on both sides are affected, of course. There is some drone activity. We usually don't hear about it until the next day or a week later sometimes before we hear of anything close to us.
Do you see less of men in their 30s and 40s in your local community because perhaps they have been called up or something like this?
Not that I've noticed, no. No.
Have you thought about the possibility that, the war in Ukraine could drag on for several more years and, that your oldest son could eventually be called up for military service? How do you feel about that scenario, especially as a parent and a newcomer to this country?
That's a hard question. Not a hard one. It's not.
That is a real hard question, bro. How do you play that?
Not hard to answer. I mean, it's a hard and emotionally, right? No parent, I don't think, no parent wants their kid to go to war. I think it's also a man's duty to defend his country. If you come in through my door and threaten my family, I will do what I got to do to protect them. And I might get hurt in the process. Have we thought about it? Yes, it is a possibility. I will leave it up to the children to decide if they
do also have alternative service here in Russia. So if our children at that time decide that they don't feel comfortable in that matter, they do have the alternative service option.
Yeah.
Religiously, I feel it's not right to kill another human being in any way. I do, though, feel that we should support those that feel the need to defend, like he was saying. I would feed soldiers. I would support in any other way that I...
Yeah, nursing, anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I love when it's like... You know what I'm saying? Like, he's reading and he's like looking at the kid like... I love that. he's locked in.
If there was ever a need, I have medical background, so I would support in other ways.
Biblically speaking, there is multiple arguments, and many people would argue from the Bible that you cannot go to war. You have to turn the other cheek every time somebody hits you. I wasn't raised that way. I don't fully feel that way. I'm
You hate me, I hate you back. You hit me, I hate your back.
You need to defend yourself.
Also, what some people might not understand is that until you are citizens, you can get called up. So just because you moved here doesn't mean you gotta get called up.
They're not gonna drag us out.
That's the other thing. Yeah, I was gonna add that, and then I forgot about it. But yeah.
But I also ask you if you're pursuing getting citizenship for the whole family, and you said yes. So
that is the plan. Yeah, and we are fully aware that those consequences could come along with that. And again, like I said, I'll leave it up to the children to decide.
So what do you guys plan to do for when you growing up? Have you given this any thought?
Farming?
Have you ever thought of maybe moving to a bigger city? I don't know, like Moscow, and trying to build a life there? No.
No, we're in the country.
No, they love the country. You can tell. They're very... This is their,
I don't want to live in the city. I'd rather live in the countryside. I do want to farm. I want to be a farmer's wife, so I want to be a mom. But basically just what we do now in life, I guess that'll be good for me.
You guys have a skill. These kids, they probably don't understand it that deeply, but they have a skill that will help them thrive in life. It's going to help them.
That people in the West should know if they want to follow into your footsteps, move to Russia, start a business here.
It's going to take a lot of patience.
I was going to say patience again.
Certain processes, certain things are just so much simpler in Canada. We checked into a hotel. It took the lady at the hotel
Here in Russia.
In Russia, I think it took her 2.5 to 3 hours to get us registered as a family because we're foreigners. We had some Russians with us. They just scanned the passport, done. A tractor's driver's license. I've been driving a tractor since I was tall enough to reach the clutch pedal on a tractor. I don't even know when I learned. I've just been driving all my life. And now I come in Russia, I can't drive a tractor on the road because I need a tractor driver's license. And it's not something I would have never even dreamed that somebody needs a tractor driver's license. Yeah, patience. Lots of patience. You need to be patient. People mean well. If you present these problems, package it as, look, this is a real problem. It needs to be addressed and could be changed somehow. Somebody will listen, at least in my opinion. Like, we've had meetings with the Minister of Agriculture before. I don't know anybody that's met the Minister of Agriculture in Canada. I don't even know who he is. But you can talk to these people and you can explain it and things will change because they are interested in Western immigrants. Now, again, if you're an immigrant coming to Russia and you're going to buy a flat in Nizhny Novgorod, maybe you're retired or something, you don't need to know any of this. Life, anybody can come here. Just put your money in the bank and just enjoy your life. It'll be very simple. If you're going to come here and get a job, again, get the job. It's pretty simple and basic. You put your money in the bank. It's no different than back home. But if you're going to get into business, that adds a whole different degree of figuring stuff out. I mean, we're pioneering. What we did with our farm and our house, we're the first ones that anybody that I know knows of that did it. Even though it's legal, nobody builds a house on agricultural land. This is a totally new concept. We have people driving down our laneway and just looking at it. I'm like, they just don't understand it. Yeah. It's a new concept here. And so
it's very common in the United States and in Canada and in North America to just build your house in your farm.
Hopefully, as we continue to figure out the kinks and the people that we work with do, it'll be easier for the next people that come.
With your passion and your dedication, I'm sure you will figure it out.
Hopefully, yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, next year I will see even more stuff built.
Yeah. Well, by next year you'll have to come over. You can help us maybe butcher an animal or milk a cow, make some butter. We'll get you out there.
Sounds like a plan.
Yo, we get your hands dirty, right?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very good,
Thank you.
Man. Good documentary, man. This was such a great job. I'm telling you, such a great job. Aaron is an absolute beast. The amount of things he has built defies the belief. The whole family's incredible industrious. Yeah, it's in the blood. It's in the blood, A lot of the North American settlers for Europe, it's just the industrial, want to build stuff, right? That's what it is. It's in our blood. That's weird. This Canadian family is actually a family what every country needs because their children doesn't want or dream to go in a big city, but wants to stay in a village and be farmers. And there are less and less farmers in developed countries. Yes, that's what it is, man. That's where the money is. That's where it is. When we, in the name of God, when I get my house, we're gonna have a little bit of greenhouse, thing to just get our own stuff, man. To just have a little bit of homestead, and probably a couple of chickens just to have eggs. We have to. In a weird way, I think that's the way to go. It's the way to go. This Canadian family is actually family what every country needs. We read that already? Let me see this from a Russian person. It says, I watched the Fenstros family since their departure from Georgia. In such a short time, they have done a great job in their land. Blessing to them and good health. The elder daughter has very good Russian pronunciation. Good job, girl. Keep going, yeah. There are many farmers in Switzerland, from Switzerland and German here in Russia. The largest farmers in Russia is the German Stefan Durk. His family covers more than 600,000 hectares and has over 110,000 cows. Wow. He went to Russia nearly 30 years ago. Damn. The immigrants we want. Hope our government works to help these guys out. Yeah, I think the United States, we need to bring more of that too. What he doesn't have in the bank debt. And the United States, a startup like that is owned by the bank and milked for decades. Modern slavery. That's what I told you. Yeah. Good, friendly, very hardworking, and decent family. Wonderful children growing up. For the citizens of our country, such people were always welcome. There you have it, folks. I think that, yeah, every country. Here's a couple things I will say. Every European country, or most of the European country, it should always thrive to have a high birth rate and interchange their skills. That you want a lot of these problems to go away, increase marriages, increase birth rate, and interchange European immigrants. That's it. Russia, you need a farmer? Okay, get a couple Germans, a couple people from Switzerland, you know, so on and so forth. And then, well, we need some more religious people. Bring some more orthodoxy from the Baltics or the East European, or, you know, stuff like that. Like, you can, and then you're not losing your culture either. That's the thing. Like, I don't know why I'm gonna keep it there. But there you have it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you next one.